All right, everybody. Hi. So, great technology do what it's supposed to. All right. So we are about to get started. If you are tuning in right now, let me know when you're tuning in from. I am speaker with Five Things Academy, and the CEO and the founder of this community, of this brand, more or less. And if you are reading the description and the title of this live, it's your future cannot, you cannot delegate your future. And I'll let you get into the description of that, but that's definitely a quiet, calm conversation. But again, let's go ahead and get this started, kick this off, because I have to go. I'm getting together a case study. I actually have like three case studies, and I'm working on my fourth case study of everything that I have been doing since December 31st of last year. So it's pretty much just documenting things that are happening, that why Queens Academy is about. Inspired. And let's go ahead and get into this topic here. And something that I've been thinking about lately is that there are a lot of things people can do for you. They can encourage us, they can teach us, they can believe in us, they can open doors. And all of those things have value, but those eventually there comes a quiet moment where the decision belongs to us, right? Because no one else can build our future for us. So we're going to get into these points here. Um, so let's talk about support and ownership are different. And I think many of us spend years looking for the right support, the right mentor, the right community, the right opportunity. And those things matter, but support can only carry us so far. There comes a point where we have to stop asking, who is this going to help? And start asking, what part of this belongs to me, right? Because ownership isn't carrying isn't carrying everything alone. Ownership is accepting responsibility for the part that is yours. So just a little dive here. Um, have you ever realized you are waiting for something else to make a decision that was actually yours to make? Let me know in the comments if you're watching this right now. And even if you're watching on replay, just drop it in the comments. Have you ever realized you were waiting for someone else to make a decision that was actually yours to make? And I found we all, I really believe that we've all been in that situation where we waiting for someone else to make a decision uh, when actually we, you know, we already know it belongs to me or belongs to us. I mean, just instance, for instance, like, you're getting ready to do something, or you have a plan or a project, and you're talking to one of your friends or whatever. Before you make that decision, you want to ask them and see what they think about it and what I should do or what you should do. And you're waiting on them to give you a response when actually you already know your mind is made up. So it's almost like, you know, it's almost like why even ask, right? Because at the end of it, you still gonna do what you want to do. I mean, but it does help. I will. It does help to hear someone's input, even though you may not even go with that input. But I guess it just gives more things to think about. Like but for me, from my perspective, I think it just gives you more things to think about, before making that final decision, right? But at the end of it all, instead of waiting for someone else to make a decision that is actually yours, just go ahead and just make it. I mean, you can still like, you know, get their perspective on it, but at the end of it all, it's still yet yours. All right, so wait, waiting until waiting is still a decision. Let's think about that. Waiting is still a decision, and I think people often believe they, I often, often think that people believe that they are avoiding a decision, but if life doesn't really pause, time keeps moving, we keep becoming someone, and sometimes waiting is wisdom, but sometimes waiting is fear wearing clothes of patience. Where, right? So weird. Okay. And those two can look almost identical. So what in your life has been waiting for permission that only you can give? What in your life has been waiting for permission only you can give? Something to think about, right? So, in the comments, and and you don't even have to actually put it in the comments, but just think about that. Just a mental thought. Think about that and answer that question to yourself. And so reflection has to become a movement. And I think introvert women process deeply. We think, we observe, we prepare, we imagine different outcomes, and that's one of the greatest strengths, right? But reflection is supposed to create clarity, and clarity is supposed to create movement. Otherwise, we can become very good at understanding life without fully participating in it. So, let me ask you a question. What is something you already know about yourself that your actions haven't caught up with yet? Let me repeat again. Is what is something you already know about yourself that your actions haven't caught up with yet? Just a mental note, with the question asked. You don't have to comment in the comments, but just ask yourself that question, right? So, and I'm not gonna this up, like I said, stay here long, just enough information to bring in value to get things moving. And I'm starting to get a little bit faster with this, getting things set up and just getting things started. Um, but so why Quiet Queens exist? And that's honestly one of the reasons I created Quiet Queens Academy is not because I wanted women to become dependent on another community, but because I wanted to create an environment where they could learn to trust themselves again. That's where women could slow down enough to think clearly, discover the leadership, discover that discover that leadership doesn't have to be loud, where they could build without pressure, where they could understand what clarity creates confidence. And that's why inside the community, there are free courses like Stop Chasing, Apostleship, Calm Conversations that Convert, the business model explained, the business model explained, because the goal was never to create followers. The goal was to help people become self-reliant and to move from confusion to understanding. And that, my friend, is as one of the big key things for me, and from waiting to ownership. So the thing is, you're able to own whatever it is that you want, right? And so if no one was watching and no one was, excuse me, what would you finally give yourself permission to build? Ask yourself that question. And ownership is quiet. And I think ownership is often misunderstood. People think ownership is loud, certain, fearless. I don't think it all works like that. Sometimes ownership is simply sitting with yourself and saying, this is my life, this is my vision, and I am willing to take responsibility for what for what comes next. Sometimes. Not because everything is clear, but because you decided your future deserves your participation. And so, let me ask you, what part of your future is waiting for you to stop observing it and start owning it? So, we're coming to, and I just want to share. this morning because I think women are carrying more wisdom than they realize. The question may not be whether people do. The question may be whether you're giving yourself permission to own what you already know. And that's really the heart behind what this can. It's not about someone building your life for you. It's about creating an environment where women can see clearly enough to build their own. With support, the support can walk beside you. Community can strengthen you. But eventually, the future we're hoping for asks one quiet question. Are you ready to take ownership of your life? Only you can build. I appreciate everyone listening in this morning. Fly Truths. I am Shakita, and you all